Welcome everybody to The Quiet Place 2.
Part 2.
The Quiet Place Part 2. SpoilerCast and podcast and review.
But we didn't do a Part 1.
No, we didn't do the Part 1 because that movie came out before we... What was that? No.
Hey, I'm talking here.
Hey man, watch out!
You like The Office? Well, this has nothing to do with that. This is John Krasinski's newest lead role in Quiet Place Part 1. Now, when you get to Quiet Place Part 2, everybody, we're going to have an educated discussion on that because spoilers are about to happen.
Yeah. Big spoilers for The Quiet Place Part 2. So you have 4 seconds to leave.
Starting from when he said that.
From when I said that.
No, we'll start now. 3,
Jim died.
2, 1. Jeez. All right, so that was a trick for people who weren't listening. Welcome, everyone, to the Quiet Place Part 2 SpoilerCast. John Krasinski is dead.
Oh.
He is not actually the lead role. I was doing that for the audience in case they were like, oh, man, can't wait to watch this movie. Oh, no, they're going to spoil it.
Yeah, we just spoiled the first one.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen that one, well, it sucks.
But we will be spoiling the entirety of the Quiet Place franchise.
Oh, okay,
all 2 hours and 30 minutes of it. Or
no,
so.
there's more. Right?
That second movie was kind of short, it felt. What was the runtime on Quiet Place 2? It felt a little shorter.
It got to have been at least an hour and a half.
Okay.
That's the standard movie time. What was it?
I'll get to that
okay.
very shortly. But we are here to discuss, before we get into that, we want the audience to know
where we stand on the original Quiet Place Part 1.
A movie that was also directed, just like the second part, by John Krasinski.
Jim Halpert.
It even seemed to have the same producers, Michael Bay, Andrew Form, and Brad Fuller. I only know one of those names.
Yeah.
This one had the same producers, but John Krasinski was now a producer as well as director.
Oh, good.
So that seemed to be the difference.
He moved on up.
He got more jobs.
Yeah.
Taking it away from the little man.
Well, I mean, he had a little less to do in this movie, so...
That's true. They also,
more
what I found most interesting was the budget. Apparently, 17 to 21 million in the first one.
Okay.
And the second one, 61 million.
Oh, dang.
So there was a jump in budget here.
I saw it in the beginning, that whole sequence, which we will talk about.
Okay. They, obviously, all right, it's a little too soon to be saying how much the movie has made, but the first one did leave with apparently almost 341 million.
Jesus.
Box office.
I do know how much this next one made. I just saw I don't know the exact
so far.
amount. So far, yeah, the opening weekend or weekdays or something, it was like 48 million or something. But keep in mind, this is during
the
pandemic. Like the theater that we went to and watched this in just opened up. Mm-hmm. Thank goodness, because the other theaters I was going to, not the best experience. So, thank you, Regal. Sponsored by Regal. No, it's not.
Use offer code
Regal.
ED discussion. You get 5%. No, it's not, because then it's on.
You get $4 off your popcorn.
So, what we probably should talk about, as you said, was what our original thoughts are on Quiet Place 1.
Yeah.
You liked the film.
Oh, I loved it.
Very much.
I love Quiet Place 1. That was great. I mean, I was a little worried. I'm like, oh man, I really like John. I don't want him to be sullied in Hollywood because, you know, coming from TV all of a sudden to his first directorial debut, I was like, man, I hope he does good. And man, he did great. I was so happy and everyone loved it. So, you want to give it like a score?
Yeah, let's do a score.
If it was up to me, I mean, I saw the movie like 2 or 3 times. That's a good sign already. If you want to be like super fair, I'd probably give it like between like 8.5 or a 9. That's how much I loved it.
I always wonder for myself, like, I went into that movie completely blind, saw no trailers.
Yeah, I remember that.
I don't like watching trailers in general. So I had no idea what this movie was even going to be. I was like, oh, Jim's in this? From The Office? Oh, okay. You told me what you're seeing. Can I come? And then I found a way to go. That was it. Going in blind probably helped a lot with my perception because I didn't go in blind into the second one.
Right.
But I'll just say it was a great movie. Was not perfection.
No, of course
It wasn't perfection. I don't know what you would do to make it perfect, but I left with a very memorable theater experience.
Yeah.
Probably the most memorable theater experience. So I should probably say it was the best movie I've ever seen in a theater, actually.
Man, you just changed.
No, because I'm thinking, because like, I've told you this, but we'll do it on the mic. That movie emphasized being quiet. So like even eating popcorn when it was quiet, I was like, oh, I can't do that. And everyone else seemed to be following along with that as well. Like going to a theater is probably it is the optimal way to experience this.
Yeah.
With the larger the group, obviously this was pre-COVID, but the larger the group, the quieter it is, the more you kind of have that bond, that shared bond experience of what you're watching. So there was a point where I went to the bathroom, and apparently I missed some like good part.
Yeah.
That I still haven't seen. It was like right after the waterfall part. But I remember getting up. I was like, oh, I gotta go. I think I had to go to the bathroom or get more popcorn. Either way, I was trying to be quiet because it was a quiet part of the movie. And I'm trying to be so quiet, like an idiot. I almost tripped on the stairs. And I remember
you almost got us all killed.
I remember just being like, oh no. Like in my head, I'm like, oh no, I'm going to make so much noise. People are watching this movie. Like just that. I've never felt such like a sympathy for a character in the sense that I felt the need for silence like they did in the film.
You mean you ain't going to be...
No. I mean, I'm not going to purposely make noise anyway, but I was trying to be quiet, and I had one of those stupid horror movie moments where we're going to fall over, and I was like, I got to be as cat-like as possible and quiet. And just no movie I've ever felt the need to do that.
Okay.
So, like even, like I heard our friend Brad's stomach growling.
Oh, yeah?
That's how quiet this movie was.
Dang.
And it just was, I would say, that, again, probably I should give it extra points because I've never had a theater experience like that. And I don't think I ever will.
Nah, that's it.
Yeah.
You only get that once.
There's no topping that kind of moment, especially because I went in so blind in the movie.
Right. Sounds like you were pretty high on the
Yeah,
original.
I would say in terms of movie theater experiences, 10 out of 10.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Not the movie itself, just the movie theater
I mean,
experience.
but it was the movie that made that, so let's just give it a perfect score right now.
You started off saying it wasn't.
No, I thought more about it. I grew more educated as I discussed it.
All right. Well, that is the point of this podcast.
I said it was a great movie.
Okay.
And then I remembered what added to it.
Man, what a ride that was. I do remember, pulling the straw up to grasp it better, to drink, and it made that sound. Man, I got so mad at myself.
You just ruined the movie.
I just ruined the movie for like 80 people. Yeah, okay. Well, good. Yeah, it was a great movie. So now on to Quiet Place Part 2.
This is us being quiet.
This is
I'm probably going to edit out.
No, yeah, edit that out. That's too much. People will leave. Like, oh, man. Okay. You want to start with positives or negatives?
Positive is going to be so short.
Man, why do I invite you to these things?
Well, it's easier to discuss the negative and the positive. Like, it was good. I liked this. But like negative, just in the human brain, it always is going to stick out more. That's our human nature,
the negatives
man.
that you have, is it negatives with the movie itself or just some characters?
The movie.
Okay.
I sounded very unsure of myself. Sorry. The movie.
Okay.
Characters being dumb is
That's just
is the
horror
norm.
movies 101.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have much to say on the movie. There is one sequence that I thought was weirdly edited, but we can get into that later. I guess since you have more to say on the negativity of the movie, go ahead. What you
I was
got?
thinking flip it. Positive.
That's not
first.
what you just said.
No, but because we'll have more to say and it'll...
So we're going to start
We're starting with the positive.
We're going to start with the positive.
Yeah.
We're going to end how much you hate this movie,
Yeah.
and then that's our score.
Yeah.
Well,
You're Mr. Positive,
I heard-
so you go first.
I am Mr. Positive. I thought that Scarecrow was great in this movie.
Oh, is that him?
That was Scarecrow,
That's,
yeah.
Jesus.
The guy that played Emmett was Scarecrow from Dark Knight. Or no, Batman Begins. I think he was also in Dark Knight. But anyways, I was worried about John being gone from this, since of course he died in the previous film. So I was like, man, I want another strong male lead to provide like that father figure for this family that they need. I wasn't expecting to get as good as John, but we did get Emmett, and he was a little defeated in life. He lost pretty much everyone, right? If I'm not mistaken. He had like 2 kids and his wife.
Yep.
He was just kind of like giving up, and he decided to help, and and I was happy for that. This little girl, Reagan, gave him some hope and some will,
You're
some
good.
drive.
You remember these characters' names?
I looked them up.
Okay.
I looked them up because I forgot. The thing is, in these type of movies, they don't say their names that often because they're not allowed to say anything. So it's very rare that you hear their names said. So yes, I did have to look it up. But anyways, so I was happy that they introduced this guy. I saw him in the trailer, but I didn't think he was going to have a bigger role in this. I thought he was going to be like a guy they meet who's a psycho for a second, and then they have to leave him, or he turns on him or something. But no, he ended up being a good guy. I mean, of course, there is some questions about how he was based on what that kid found, which I'll talk about that kid in the negatives for show. But I gotta say, that opening sequence was so well done in my eyes. Very well filmed. The whole scenes of John like walking through the town and it being so empty. You're like, well, what's going on? Oh, okay. Well, the small town, they're all gathered at this neighborhood baseball tournament thing going on. And he's, getting some oranges or something, right? And he's eating an apple and everything. And just the way everything is shot and following him, I'm like, what's going to happen? Like, I was bracing myself because I know what's ahead. But no, of course, nothing happens. But the way they filmed it was purposeful in that way. And I was very impressed with how everything was shot. But, I mean, once everything starts, I mean, just from the moment you see that comet or asteroid or whatever is falling onto Earth, like, just the way the tone and everything shifts and, like, I don't know. Just the way they did everything was so well done. And then, of course, once all the creatures start arriving and just wrecking shop everywhere, it was... I forgot Michael Bay was doing this, but I saw Michael Bay in this. Because this is exactly what's going on in the Transformers movies. When you see Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox running at the screen and stuff, and Transformers are knocking stuff out the way, close calls and everything. And that's exactly what was going on here. But with these creatures, which were really frightening, I think a lot more in this movie than in the first one. The first one had the sense of mystery, like, oh, what are these things? Because you never really saw them until like the very end when you got those close-ups of their face and everything. But this one, now that we know how terrible these things are...
You see Venom's face. You
see Venom and Carnage's face all over the freaking place. In A Quiet Place. They came from outer space.
Don't use mace.
Okay. I was waiting for you.
Just in case.
Yeah, just in case. I can see it on your face, man.
Was that a purposeful?
Yeah, I did that one.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, sorry about that, guys.
Movie starts with a chase.
It was so crazy, just the way, so tense. And what I heard after the movie is that you actually didn't get any jump scares, which I think is a freaking lie. But anyways, there was a lot of...
This was your wife that claimed this about me, not me. I never said it.
I asked you at the end, because she said that, and then you were like, yep.
But that wasn't something I brought up. That was something she brought up. I was not going to be like, I did not even get scared once.
I did jump once. Okay. So you jumped?
No.
So that's what I'm saying.
Well, no, but I was never going to boldly claim this.
I just don't get how that's possible, because that movie made me jump.
You also had to urinate, so...
Well, that was halfway through the movie.
Okay.
Just even the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah, when I had to go pee, and I didn't want to leave and miss waterfall
I think
scenes.
a lot of that opening sequence was in like a trailer, though.
They had like some of it, but not all of it. I mean, the whole...
Enough of it.
The whole thing with Jim's character, with John's character, and his daughter, like in the shop or whatever, like when they were hiding and everything. Like it was a longer sequence, and to me, it was just well done.
I think I just had no fear for anything because I knew nothing could happen.
No, of course, but it's still scary. I didn't fear for them because I know this was a prequel.
I think I would have needed more of that. I don't know, because I didn't jump anything later anyway.
I don't know, but just I love the way those scenes are done with them running and stuff being smashed and everything is always so well done, and especially with these things, they're so forceful, and every time they hit somebody, like they go flying and smack, like it you feel the impact of how strong these things are. So to me, that just made it all the more scary. Like I know they were safe, but not everyone else. Like I don't know, it's still scary to me. Cause
you're a baby.
I am a baby. And I was just really happy to see this sequence. Like I was really excited when the trailer first came out. I'm like, oh, they're gonna show, how it started. Because in the first one, it was all just kind of a mystery. There was like a newspaper clipping, like, oh, these things came from the sky or something like that. But that was it. So we didn't get too much like of an origin, and we still don't. But at least we see how it all started. And I was really happy, and to me that sequence was phenomenal.
And I would say it was probably the best part of the movie.
Okay.
Sorry, it was the best part of the movie.
Okay. It was really good.
Now, you spent a lot of time just talking about the intro.
Uh-huh.
What else was positive?
It stems from a negative, but because I hate the kid's character in this movie, but
he's good. He was good at screaming when his
that's exactly what I was gonna say. His acting was superb, man. I felt that. I think John should be arrested for child abuse because I'm sure he actually did that purposely because that was real. Don't arrest John. He's our national treasure. He needs to be Mr. Fantastic ASAP. Anyways, so his acting was great. Emily's was great. I mean, everyone was great. Like these are all like fantastic actors.
That baby cried right on demand.
Man, let me tell you, action.
Wore that mask better than any other baby could do.
Yeah. What you got for positives?
I mean, I think we're gonna struggle with positives because that was the best part of the movie.
Okay, because something was the best part doesn't mean everything else sucks.
No, but it's just
I know that's how it works in your mind, but that is not how it works in a normal human's brain.
I'm just not gonna. Like I don't have like a big discussion piece for as much as you talked about the opening. Is what I'm saying.
Okay, I mean to me that was where a lot of the stuff happened. I mean that was what I wanted to see.
That's when I cared the most about the movie, and as it progressed, I lost some of that care.
You were just mad because Jim wasn't in it anymore.
That might be part of it. I'm not even trying to like.
Well, you got to keep in mind,
like
we knew that was going to happen.
I know, but it is what it is. And I'm sure by my
So you're saying that if there's a Harry
great,
Potter movie and Harry Potter ain't in it, you're going to like it less?
I mean, I've seen enough Daniel Radcliffe movies to ruin that perception.
Swiss Army Man, everybody.
No.
Give that a watch.
You're fine. But like, nothing was outright awful is my positive. Like I have
wow.
Anything I have to complain about is kind of just nitpicks.
Okay.
So my positive is I only have nitpicks throughout the whole movie.
I guess
I could talk about them in detail.
I guess that's good for you since you're always so negative. I mean, I can like bring up little things I like. I mean, there's nothing else you liked. What's the opposite of a nitpick?
Like in a good way?
Yeah, like a quick little like
a quick pick.
Quick pick.
The kid screaming. He did a good job screaming.
Okay, I like the sequence when Reagan was in the train car and she couldn't hear anything because she was trying to get that thing. So that's
really good.
Like the way like the focus on the background was blurred and then it like comes into focus and you see the creature in there and she can't see it, but then you see, of course, followed by her great acting, like you see her realize.
Yeah, but you didn't expect that to happen. Like as soon as they did that shot, I was like,
no, I expected it, but it was just well done. Mm-hmm. That's it. Like what I kind of expected was that to come into play, and then like it's right up in front of her, not creeping in the background, slowly getting up. So little things like that. I mean, the whole sequence when she woke up and the thing wasn't in her ear and she couldn't hear anything, and like the audience was wondering, like, did Emma just leave her? Like, did that just happen? Like, how is she gonna be? And she's like there, like crying her eyes out, and then you see like his boots walk up and like crash down, like, hey, went to go get some lunch. Like, hey, you want?
Why did he take her hearing aid?
I don't know. Oh no, he took that thing with him.
Oh, okay.
To protect.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
But was I supposed to think he abandoned her? Like, was that the intention to be like,
that's what me and my wife thought. She was like, did she just leave him?
I mean, I thought that, but it didn't seem like worked. In character. Like,
well, no, I mean, I thought that for a second, but since my wife was saying that, I was like, nah, there's no way. He just went to go get breakfast or something. Mm-hmm. But no, then he, like I said, with his character, like going above and beyond, he was like, no, I found a boat. Isn't that what you wanted? So that, that's what she went out to do, to find a boat to go into this island or whatever. So
they just focused on it for a while, and I was like, he's gonna show up. There ain't many other people in this movie.
Yeah. So, and then I do like the what was it? Those guys by the docks. How everything looked abandoned, and then you just see how well these guys were like hidden in the boats. With the little girl
that's my negative. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but that section is my negative. I
will say, why didn't these guys go to the freaking island? Why were they?
They didn't hear the song.
Oh yeah, they didn't hear. I mean, but you got a boat, like leave. But whatever. It's stupid. I wish I knew what was going on with them, why they were still there, why they looked like half dead, like they were like all like. Oh, maybe because they're living by salt water and their skin's all screwed up, but. Sure. One of them was all burned and stuff. I don't know. That's the thing with stories like this and The Last of Us. Like, people have been through a lot, so we don't know. It's only
been a year.
Story. A little over a year. Remember?
It's not been 2 years.
Anyways.
These were fairly recent disfigurations.
Yeah. But anyways, like, why were they there the whole time? They could have just... There's an island right there within the distance. You could have just gone. Island from afar, same difference. So, anyways, all right, man. Go ahead, go into your negatives.
All right, let's talk about these
bring
idiots.
My mood down.
Let's bring up these idiot. Let's call them. What do you want to call them?
They were called Shamblers.
Shamblers. Okay, I was gonna make up a name, but that works. The Ravagers. I don't know why.
I think it was Wikipedia.
So these Shamblers, they're idiots. They're complete idiots.
Okay.
What? Like their whole plan of, all right, we're gonna get this little girl, and we're gonna hook up the bottles to his neck, right? Mm-hmm. And then he won't want to move because he'll make noise. But like that's just attracting the things to them. Mm-hmm. Like he's
the source of the noise,
right? So, but like,
well, he would be the source.
If you're already in a position where I'm screwed over here, I'm just gonna make noise anyway. Like it just didn't seem very intelligent to, and I don't know if we're supposed to I don't know if we're supposed to believe, oh, these are smart guys. Anyway. But it just, the whole time I was like, this is a dumb
They're
plan.
just really, really good at stealth.
Are they?
Yeah, dude.
Because immediately they died within, they died within
No, they're good at stealth.
45
Once
seconds.
they're caught, that's not stealth.
That's not good as, I play video games.
Yeah.
If I get caught, I ain't good at stealth anymore.
They didn't get caught. The other guy they were out and about.
And they got caught.
That's not.
They got caught.
All right, whatever.
Are they all dead?
No. Some of them lived. I saw them swim away.
Sure. Enough of them died.
Did they swim to the shore? Yes.
Enough of them died that I'm pretty sure.
Yes, they are.
They are almost all dead.
Okay.
They lost a lot of resources that day.
Okay.
For what, a girl they wanted to enslave?
I got weird.
Like it was perverse, a lot of just implied.
Yeah, implied perverse stuff that I got because they kept undressing her. Yeah. But maybe they were just taking her stuff off. I don't want to think negative all the time like you, but who knows? I mean, they were clearly not good people.
I'm a fan of like environmental storytelling. We could call it that, like learning through the side. But like, and they did foreshadow that there's going to be some messed up people with Emmett saying, "People, they got real bad."
Yeah,
I don't know why. Does he have like a power slide?
He does now.
Okay, I don't know, but.
Batman, look into this mask.
I never felt like I got it in what he said. When he said it, I got it. Them showing me it didn't actually do anything for me. And a lot of like the environmental storytelling I just felt was like a waste. I guess there's going to be a part 3 and that's where a lot of this is going to come into play. But like the kid finding like the wife's dead body, all the drawings. There was a point where he had a drawing and Ramona, what's her name? Reagan had a drawing and he grabbed it from her and folded it. I'm like, that was a nice picture. You're going to wrinkle it all up.
Yeah.
Like, there's just a lot we don't know about him, and I don't feel like I watched it and like figured out a ton. Like it just felt like it was again,
did we figure out
this
a
is
lot
where
from
part
the first
3
one?
probably comes in, but there was nothing like I felt like that was this hidden backstory behind a character, and it felt a lot like, hey, we're either building the character to part 3 or we are just trying to be edgy for edgy's sake, and that's what it came off like.
In the first movie, I was just curious. Does John's character like apples? And in this movie, I got that question answered. So,
well,
I mean, progress.
They showed those drawings a lot. Those drawings had a lot of screen time, and we never really got specified who it was or why he's so protective of those drawings. But then he doesn't take care of them that well anyway because he's folding them up. And then he's got his dead wife, I'm assuming that's who it was. Like, just, he's clearly a messed up person, but I just didn't feel like it sold it on. I didn't get.
To me, it was
seemed
more
like
of
a little
a
much. Like we're just doing it for the sake of being like dark.
To me, it was. You saw Walking Dead, right? A good chunk of it.
Mm-hmm.
To me, he was the governor, but not in the completely, psycho way.
Mm-hmm.
He just didn't want to let his family go, and it is weird to hang on to your wife's dead corpse and probably your son's too. I don't know if there was other little bodies back there or anything, or what. I think his son was killed by one of the things. I don't really know.
It just felt weird for the sake of being weird. So unless in part 3 it's given a larger focus, I'm going to think back to this part.
I mean, I'm sure it will. If there is a part 3, which I think they will, because even though this movie is releasing during pandemic times, it's still doing pretty well. I think it's like...
It didn't end with a sense of like, all right, the story's done. So there's probably going to be a part 3.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, there's already a confirmed spinoff, which I'm not too excited about, but we'll see. But...
Dead bodies.
Yeah. To me, I took that more of it. Like, to me, it was weird at first, but like when you see all that he's gone through, I'm like, this guy just had a rough life, and he really, everyone has, but
yeah,
but
no one has
specifically with that. I mean, it's not like his wife was killed with the creature and then gone, like knocked away, and that's it. You can't get to her again. She just died from like a sickness, if I'm not mistaken.
Listen,
right?
I saw the trailer before this movie, the M. Night Shyamalan, the old movie, and they told me how long a body takes to decompose. So he had plenty of time to handle his business. That was not a recent death.
No.
He said it was like 11 weeks or something. I think he said that number specifically, and that was such a weird number that I guess I'm like, that's a weirdly. Who the heck remembers? 11 weeks.
Yeah.
So I guess that was some foreshadowing into the fact that his wife is up there. And then the whole reason we found it felt contrived because like the son,
I hated that freaking kid.
like, and it just, I was like, why is he doing this? Like if there was some narrative reason, I'd get it. If they had put in a little hook, like he's like, don't go up there. And then the kid's like, oh, let me go up there. Even just one little line like that would have justified
it looked like
his
he
adventure.
was trying to look for his mom. That's what it looked like.
Did it?
I mean, what was he looking out the window with binoculars?
But he's going to find his mom up there?
From a higher place? Yeah, that's how you look up.
It's quiet place, not higher place. But the whole time I was like, why? I always felt like, and also like as a dad now, that stuff's always going to give me more anxiety. Baby stuff gets to me more now than it did before.
Yeah.
So like, I'm sure that was part of it in my brain, but the whole time I was like, what? Like it's just like, oh, he's an idiot. It's a horror movie.
Yeah.
It never felt like, oh, I know why he's doing this.
And not only did he like cause a problem, he caused a huge problem, man. Like it went 0 to 100 real quick. Like, God. And then like, how mad were you when he's taking the kid's oxygen to get his own oxygen? It's like, you screwed up, man. You pass out. Like, let this kid live. And I was worried he was just going to take it for himself.
Jeez.
That's what I thought. I was like,
you really hate this kid.
I mean, that's how low I thought of him when he did this stupid thing.
Curly hair boy, because I don't remember his name.
Noah. What's his name? Yeah. They said it like once in the last movie, I think.
I remember Lee.
Yeah.
I remember.
Well,
Lee.
they said his name.
What's the wife's name? Emily.
Her name is Emily Blunt. That's what it is. I don't know. Forgot.
I think without the internal part for me of loving the John Krasinski, I was not as pulled to this group anymore. I think he was a great anchor for that family.
Evelyn.
So, especially because I don't know people's names, I felt
the thing is,
I did not
you're
feel
coming
attached.
you're
any
coming
of these
at
people.
it as a huge fan of The Office, as probably our favorite.
They knew what
character
they were
from
doing.
it.
He knows.
I mean, they pulled out that Pamp scene with the headphones straight from The Office.
I watched Guardians of the Galaxy. I was like, Chris Pratt, let's go. Like it's
Parks and Rec.
Star power is the thing, and not that Emily Blunt's not a star.
So you're saying John sucks at directing? Is that what you're saying? Because he directed this movie, and you're saying you hate it.
I mean, there's more to it than, like, I think the writing is with a movie with so little, like, dialogue.
Yeah,
probably could have done some other elements of dialogue.
Okay.
I just didn't, I was like, because again, it's Deaf Girl, Lee's friend, Emily Blunt, and Curly Hair Boy, and then Baby. We don't even know the baby's name. And I feel like that for if you're going to make me care about characters, I should know their name.
Okay.
What's the baby's name?
I don't know.
It should be LJ for Lee Jr. I named a baby. Are you looking up the name for the baby?
Yeah. I don't have it.
And I just think from just a writing perspective, I should know the characters' names. That should be a thing.
I mean, okay. I can talk.
He just
about,
rolled
I can
his
talk
eyes.
about Castlevania, and I don't know anyone's name besides
Trevor,
I think
Sypha,
Mithra or something.
Alucard. Mithra. That's Smash.
Oh, okay. Whatever. Anyways, okay. So let's see what I got here. Oh no, that's Amazon. All right. I guess since we're talking about negatives, there was two weird jump cuts in this movie, like editing wise. I can't remember one of them because it wasn't a huge one. I just remember me and Brad were like, "What?" And then but the one that really stood out to me was when Emmett and Reagan arrive on the island. Yeah, and then they see they're sneaking up all stealth, like real stealth, because they didn't get caught. They were sneaking up and like seeing all these houses and stuff, and then they see the community. Everyone's just having a jolly old time, listening to banging music and eating barbecues and all that stuff. And it's just like a great time. They come out to the open, and then it cuts to them by the fire already with the blanket. So the whole introduction was completely scrapped.
I thought it was a flashback.
What?
I thought there was like, oh, this must have been before everything happened. Like, we're getting more backstory on Emmett. And he was looking at...
Oh, like he was remembering something?
Yeah.
And no, I never got that.
And to be fair,
I'm smart,
we also need to bring this up.
Okay.
The entire movie, I was being a little distracted by your wife's constant questions and guessing my own baby's name that is not born yet.
Okay.
So that maybe had an impact on my understanding, but I legitimately thought, I'm like, okay, this must be a flashback. And then he was looking at the girl a lot, Reagan. Mm-hmm. I was like, what are they implying here? And then eventually, that one guy, what's the actor's name? You said he's in a lot of Marvel movies.
Oh, God. Jaimin... Hang on, I have it here. Jaimin Hanzo.
Well, Hanzo shows up, and I'm like, oh, this must have been a guy. But then he starts talking about like what they're doing. I'm like, oh, this is not a flashback at all.
Yeah. No, I never caught that.
Okay.
Yeah, that wasn't a thing.
Well, either way, we both were confused.
No, and that's what I was gonna get at. I would have liked to have seen, because clearly this group they seem like they could care less about what's happening in the world. They're just kind of doing their own thing.
It was abundantly happy.
Yeah, I mean, they're having a great life. So I would have loved to have gotten a better sense of what this group is like once they actually saw these two outsiders come in. Like, were they overjoyed? Mm-hmm. Like, oh yeah, you made it or something. Mm-hmm. Or were they like really like shady? Like, oh, like what should we do with them? You know, like one of those things. Like that would have given me a better sense of what this group is like and if these guys are good people or not. Mm-hmm. But because it jumps to them already by the fire, I'm like, well, you could lead someone into a trap by being nice. I mean, you saw Terminus. Spoilers for Walking Dead.
And I guess this is where it a lack of love for the characters comes in. Is everywhere these people go, it's just disaster. Yeah,
I will say this, man. As great as that community was, completely Emmett and Reagan's fault that beautiful community was destroyed.
And his nice little setup with the furnace, that's gone.
What the furnace? Oh, yes.
That's gone. And then this family has brought nothing, and then even like the Shamblers, like they're all pretty much dead now because of the like.
They don't need to live.
But all this family does is bring death and destruction everywhere they go.
Yeah.
They've brought nothing positive to the world other than a newborn baby that is going to be very difficult to take care of in this environment. What have they done to make anything better? They killed the town.
They found a
they
way.
inadvertently killed the town.
They found a way to defeat these things. No one else has,
right?
That we know of. And then Reagan went ahead and put that signal on the radio, so people find that signal. Of course, they wouldn't know what it does. They'll be like, "Oh man, this sucks. Change the channel."
It would be
but
what if she just was like a DJ, like just doing like little? Oh, that'd be good. I know that this is the different.
Doesn't
movie.
make any sense at all.
But
anyway,
you might as well have fun with it at this point. Don't do that. Don't do that.
DJ
Don't do
Reagan. Anyways, so they're doing some things, but yes, yeah, they're definitely the dumb kids screwed up that whole little thing, and
with the furnace,
yeah, and that community is now destroyed forever. I mean, thankfully, it doesn't look like everyone died because they did draw it away. To my knowledge, it was just the one that was on that thing.
They don't show this movie shies away from kids' deaths being shown.
I mean, shown explicitly, but we saw what happened to their young one in the first movie.
Yeah, but
to me, that was.
I just mean this one.
That scene was intense.
Like that little girl, how'd she make it out? The one who tied around Emmett's neck, the bottles or whatever it was.
We don't know if she made it out.
It's your wife agreed. It is implied that girl is dead. And those little boys in the closet. This movie has shown me kids are idiots. So you know they're like, duh, what's out there?
I hear noises. What is it?
I just have no faith in any of these people being alive. And you know whose fault it is? Lee's family.
Okay.
And the fact that I'm calling them Lee's family, because their names are Reagan, Olivia, and Jonah.
No, Noah. Evelyn, Reagan. Yeah.
Noah. Okay.
And baby.
Baby
number 1.
Yes.
Baby number 2, because there's a different baby from the first movie.
Yeah. So I would love to see. If there was a third one, I would watch it. But I would very much.
Do you know what it would go into? Did you catch what was said in the beginning?
No.
Okay, I don't know if you caught it, but Lee was talking to Emmett because they were old pals. He was like, "Hey, how's your brother at the base? Did he hear anything?" The base.
Yeah.
Right there,
man.
Man.
Talking about baseball?
Jim? No.
Like,
on the third base, man. No. So I have.
I mean, that just felt like
Jim Halpert said Emmett's brother worked at a base. I assume some kind of military or secret special ops base. I feel like the third movie could go into that, and we can finally get some solid answers and a real conclusion than just cutting to black, as it did in the first and second film.
Well, good luck to them, because I think this movie went in the wrong direction in terms of giving answers. So that I hope they course correct for this third one, because I will watch the third one.
Of course, like you said, and it may be hard to interpret it as this, but you didn't hate this film,
no,
as you do everything else in life. You just had some stuff to nitpick. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we get to a score?
Did any of the music stick out to you at all?
Down by the sea, somewhere. That was good.
That's not bad.
I will say that anytime there was a loud noise in this film, I got so mad. I'm like, what are you doing?
Oh.
Like, you know, when she's crawling through the fence.
Oh,
and
okay.
then it just that one thing making the noise is like, okay, that wasn't too bad. But then she hits the thing, and then you hear all the bottles fall and like make that ruckus. It's just like, oh, like I was like, my blood was boiling because I'm like, idiot, what are you doing? And then when that trap hit that kid, and I was like, they're dead. And when he's screaming,
10 minutes in.
And not only does he scream once, that kid screams 5-6 times. So it's like, oh my god,
none of those were very close.
No, I mean, you know,
they were not close. He screamed for a while.
I was wondering, like, what do they do when they don't hear anything? Do you think they're just hearing like random like branches break and like
Probably.
And then like a bird tweets over here, he's like, like they're just until someone screams.
Yeah, you're making them seem real silly when you think about it like that.
You know, I want a National Geographic on these creatures, okay?
They have ear mouths.
By David Attenborough or whatever his name is.
Sure, do it.
What should we call these things?
Oh yeah, they don't have names.
We gotta combine clickers and the thing from Stranger Things.
Yeah, I say venom spiders.
The venom spiders.
Or carnage spiders.
The carnage.
These are Spider-Man references.
The carnage spiders traverse through the land aimlessly until
someone
doesn't
shut up.
Someone doesn't shut the hell up.
One with their big mouth.
Anyways, okay. So, any last things you want to say, or you want to move on?
I think it should be reiterated. I would very much like to see a third, but I hope they maybe keep a tighter story. This one was too like out there.
Well, the thing is, if they really do go with this base thing, which I think they will, I mean, why would they say that? You know?
Sure.
I feel like that's the only way to get real answers, like from people that
do we need
have
answers?
resources.
I don't think
Seems like you do.
I mean, answers to questions that they pose, sure. Like I didn't go in the first one thinking, man, where did these come from?
I did.
I never thought. I'm like, okay, this is the world that they have built. I'm gonna inhabit.
This is
it.
just another zebra. This is what they have in the world.
No, but if they're gonna pose questions, give me something. Okay. But I would like a tighter story. That first one was a tighter story. I felt more connected to that family. Where in this one, I feel like, man, you got a lot of people killed. They killed that whole village, that whole island.
Not the whole island. They killed a few people.
Can they swim? Is that?
No, they did not swim.
So
that's why.
So then, how did it get there? Because it showed the boat like scratched up. How did the venom spider get there?
Remember the one spider was on top, but since he saw his friend not make it, he was looking at him like in the water, like, oh, I guess I shouldn't go in there. So he stayed on the boat, but that boat was undocked, so it floated to the island.
Oh.
Yeah, and it took a while to get there because they weren't. I didn't see if
Is
they
that
were
really
paddling.
what happened? I didn't.
Yes, that's what happened because that was a different boat. The boat that Reagan and Emmett came in was just like a little. It didn't have like a.
That implies a level of patience from these monsters that I've never seen before.
He wasn't hearing anything. There was water all around him. You know how like docile they get around water. Well, when it's raining.
I don't know.
But we did.
When it's raining? Well, I just figure they can't hear because the rain.
Right, but
water.
It's also water all around you. So I assume he was just kind of like, well, yeah. And then once he got to the, who knows? Maybe they're implying that some of them are smarter. I don't know. We won't know until the third one, so we'll see. But
I don't think they'll answer that. But we won't know.
I don't think so. I don't think the whole smarter thing. I mean, I think they'll, like any animal, they'll learn to adapt to what's going on. But
it's only been a year. That surprised me.
It was like 400 something days. Yeah. So my wife's like, how many?
Yeah,
years?
you see, I was
it was like a year and a half, maybe. It's nothing crazy, but
we all looked at her.
Yeah, I was like, okay. Anyways,
you give your score.
All right,
you like your 1 out of 10. I like my. Well, you give your 0.5 scales out of 10. How do you?
Yeah, it was a 20-point scale out of 10.
20-point scale. That's
yeah. So 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, all that stuff. So as I said at the beginning, I gave the first one 8.5, right?
Yes. 2 and 9. You said 8.5 or 9.
Oh yes,
2, 9.
Yeah, it's a hard one to choose one of those because I really liked it. I guess I'd give it a 9. I was just really happy, and I also had a great movie theater experience, like you said. With this one, again, I still really like this one. It just was not as good as the first. But I will say, I was thinking this movie was going to be real bad. I don't know why. I was just like, man, they can't do this again. Like, we already know this gimmick. Like, we know the whole, you know, don't talk. Because a lot of people have been doing that. I mean, like, Bird Box did it with Don't Look. And then there was another one that was Don't Make Noise too. Oh, crap. I forgot what that one was called. So there's a few.
Don't Breathe.
Oh, that one was good too. Yeah, no, there was another one. It had the bald guy from
I mean, in general, in horror situations, you probably don't want to make noise.
Right, but the whole movie's that gimmick. So anyway, so a lot of people have been doing it. I'm like, can they really do this again? Jim, can you do this again? And he did it again, man. He did a great job. It wasn't as good, though. So I will say, I give this an 8.
Okay.
It was great. I really enjoyed this movie.
So it's only 0.5 less than the first one?
I just changed it to 9. If you can change a 3-point score or whatever, I can change mine.
All right.
Oh, wait. You actually stuck with my 10 score, huh?
Yeah, for you.
My boy
I
learned.
gave you that. But not anymore.
What?
Not anymore. You're getting into these 0.5s. This is ridiculous. Listen, here's the true scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's bad. It's meh. It's good. It's great. It's phenomenal. This is a 3 out of 5.
It's good.
It's good. It's a good movie. But I do think diminishing returns are going to be...
5. So that's 65%?
That's not... You're
60?
close. You're close. But
70?
You should not be looking... No.
60.
60. I mean, but...
So it's a D.
If you're
So he
using
barely passed.
our flawed education system, then yeah.
No, education.
I work for it, so I can tell you that it is a flawed
Well, it's
system.
flawed because you work for it.
But actually, I think some of the elementary schools are doing more of like you get a number like that. I think
heard about
the
that,
elementary schools are doing that. Anyway, that might be smarter. It's like either you get it or you don't. This movie is good, but diminishing returns are going to happen because like you said, the element of can he do this again? Well, he already did it. We're just going to do more. And there was no like new element to that sound or lack of sound that I think could keep it. Like I didn't leave this movie thinking like, oh man, that's really cool how they did that. Because the whole focus is on sound and I just felt like, oh, there's more of that.
Okay.
And no John Krasinski. I think
Hey, we got him.
I'm biased.
I was happy he was in
Yeah.
it for the time that he was in it.
That's why I was happy when there was a flashback. Because I was like, oh, we're going to get... I even said to you, I was like, oh man, Jim's coming back.
All right.
But hopefully, if they, for a sequel, focus on a tighter story. Keep it tight.
Keep it tight.
That's my recommendation for Quiet Place 3.
Okay. All right. Well, that is our thoughts on Quiet Place Part 2.
We're going to bring it back down for a second. And thank you for listening. Sorry, I heard some monsters outside. And
Hey, mate.
Keep it educated.
Keep it educated. And
hey, little mama, let me whisper in your
brat, tat, tat. Let's get you. Make sure your voice is going.
Yeah.
Check it out. Go for it.
Did you start?
Yeah.
All right. This is a quiet place. It's not very quiet right now because I'm talking, but I'll tell you what, it will get quieter when you hit the pause button.
How quiet will it get? Huh?
Like this.
Okay.